New construction homes are such a treat for home buyers, offering the latest styles and amenities that home builders have to offer. If you are considering buying a newly built home, you're probably wondering if you should buy now or wait for a hopeful price decline in the coming months or years. There's been a lot of talk and chatter about construction costs, specifically the expectation that costs should return to pre-pandemic levels. If that were to occur, many would expect the price of new homes to fall. Today, we'll look at this question at a national level, giving you a great perspective and analysis model to answer the same at your local level. Additionally, I'll reveal how I responded to a similar question for a specific neighborhood approximately 1 year ago. Despite significant shifts in the housing market, my controversial advice remains consistent, and we'll see if it was sound. Stick with me for a few minutes and you'll get the best answer to the question, should you buy a new construction home now or wait for prices to fall? This graph plots the producer price index for construction materials in blue, and the year-over-year percentage change is plotted in red. A year back, a buyer in Tallahassee was convinced that builder cost would decline and decided that waiting to purchase a new home was the best route. With building costs soaring by more than 50% since the pandemic began, he believed material costs had to drop significantly. Tracking the red dotted line, you'll note that the builder material costs have dipped about 3.4% from their levels a year ago. They briefly dropped a little over 7%, but are now on the rise. Here's what I advised this buyer last year. Here's what we know. Construction materials moved higher from 2010 to 2020 at a rate of 1.94% annually, meaning a home built in 2020 cost 21.2% more to build than one built in 2010, though the land moved at a higher rate. For the purpose of my answer, I'll stick with just material costs. Then, thanks to growing wages and the COVID supply chain disruptions, construction materials increased 32.2% in just 1 year from 2020 to 2021 and another 10% from 2021 to 2022 for a 2-year growth of 46.7%. With that being said, we're all hoping to see construction material costs come down as the supply chain issues are unraveled. Plus, Amazon is getting into the construction materials game too. How far will they come back and in what time frame? That's beyond my pay grade, but with inflation as it is, I would guesstimate that we might see a 10% to 20% slide. That would put construction material costs somewhere between 17.4% higher than 2020 to 32% higher than 2020. And I reached this conclusion after examining data from the Federal Reserve Economic Data website. While our buyer strongly believed that material costs would fall significantly, I estimated only a 10% to 20% reduction. We were both wrong. From the peak recorded in May of last year, material costs fell as much as 7.5%, but since have risen back to where they're only 3.4% lower than in June of last year. Our reader was specifically interested in new homes in the Oak Grove neighborhood in Tallahassee, which I construed to include Oak Grove Plantation, the meadows at Oak Grove, and the hammock at Oak Grove. He wanted an analytical answer. Should I buy a new home in Oak Grove or wait for prices to fall? Referring back to my previous comments about my expectation on changes to builder costs, here is how I advised our buyer. Based upon Federal Reserve data, we can now look at the recent Oak Grove report to find that in 2020, 6 homes in Oak Grove sold at an average size of 3,855 square feet for $183 per square foot. So if Tallahassee Homes, and that's our local builder in Oak Grove community, resumes building 3,855 square foot homes, we should expect them to sell for $215 to $242 per square foot. But wait. The average home size is shrinking so the builder can bring lower priced homes to the market. In fact, the 3,855 average size in 2020 has dropped down to 2,443 square feet in 2022. And this is important in your estimations. Smaller homes sell for a higher price per square foot than larger homes because the cost of the land, the bathrooms, and kitchens are divided by a smaller denominator. Thus, if Tallahassee Homes produces smaller homes in the future, the price per square foot will be a bit higher than our estimates. So here's my final answer. If building what they are building today, you should expect a 2,443 square foot new home to go for about $550,000 to $615,000, whereas if they resume building 3,855 square foot homes, they should go for about $830,000 to $930,000. I had given him specific prices he should expect expect for these homes, and they were higher than the builder was currently asking. So my advice was, buy now. Inflation will make the cost of building materials move higher. So that was my advice. How do you think I did? Let's take a look. If you're a longtime subscriber, then you know I often discuss the cost of new construction because new construction homes are needed in almost every U.S. housing market. If you're not a subscriber, please click the thumbs up like button and subscribe now so that you get all my new content when it is fresh. If you really want to know what's going on in housing, to see and hear the data explained, to evaluate the facts and ignore the hype that is so prevalent online, then subscribe now and I'll keep you in the know. This table shows the key analytics of size, cost, and price for the Oak Grove neighborhoods from January 2020 through July 2023. I advised our reader that it was highly likely that new home construction would cost more in the future than it did at the time of his question. It turns out that homes cost about 7.7% more. Had he purchased at the time of question, he would have saved about $19 per square foot. That's a range from $73,000 for the larger homes down to about $43,000 for the smaller homes. The simple fact in most U.S. housing markets is that the supply of homes for sale is too low, so prices are increasing. When you add inflation into the mix, you must expect new construction homes to continue higher for the foreseeable future. There is much more behind the scenes than picking out floor samples and paint colors when buying a new construction home. If you work with a highly active buyer's agent, you'll have experience and market knowledge on your side. If you're curious to know more about Tallahassee's new home construction offerings, I've included a link below to message me directly. If you want to see a video featuring my 6 real estate investing lessons learned from the housing bubble, you can view it by clicking on the box in the top left corner of your screen. To see a video that explains how to sell your house for the most money possible, just click on the box below it. Please remember to like this video, check out the links below it, and subscribe to our channel so that you never miss anything.